today Noodles and I worked on recall and settle. I wanted to make sure in particular that recall was primed a little bit better, a whole lot better if possible in the long run for sure. I know that's a big goal of yours. When I'm working on recall, my expectation for the dog that I'm working with is for them to come all the way to me into a sit as I reach for their equipment, whether it's their collar, their harness, or even just their free range, totally naked, just giving them some neck scratches, giving them some nice, too stimulating full body pets with the grain of their fur, just so that they can get used to coming to us and also being reached for and handled. A lot of the time when we are asking a dog to recall, we're trying to get them away from something, lead them away from something, or have them disengaged. And it can not be so fun when they make it to us, but then dart right back, especially when we start reaching down for them. So whenever we're teaching a dog how to recall, I like to make sure that they know how to follow me first. That's how we establish the behavior. So taking a treat to her nose, some sneaky monkey, shuffling backward, luring her into a sit, not asking her as we scratch her, let her nibble on it, and as soon as we pull away our hand, we let her have the rest. It's important to make sure that the bulk of the treat, even if we have to treat along the way, is given at the end, or that something reinforcing is given at the end. So she really understands that it's all of those things included, and there's no mistake about that. And that's what we want to do whenever they aren't listening as well, is we want to revert back to, if we're able to get all the way to them with the lure, but if anything, just shuffling backwards so that they can get primed on our movement and follow us away. Seems counterintuitive, but I'm sure you heard before, dogs will pay attention to you more when you get their attention and run the opposite direction versus going towards them, reaching over. It's an invasion of personal space, so this is to hopefully give her the choice that she doesn't need to be invaded, but coming to us will result in the better things. Softer stimulation, more pleasant stimulation in the forms of pet, praise, affection, and a good reinforcer, whether it's a toy that she's really excited about and loves to pay attention to, or some yummy treats. Now I've been working on it with her a little bit more freely, so I am going to clip off the long line so she can also feel a little bit more free. As we worked on this today, I started with the long line, then I worked with her leash, and then I clipped it down just to the bungee cord. So that way she gets more illusions of freedom, but there are still access points that I can reach for her if she goes too far. Say, one of the workers coming down came and she got excited, I'd still be able to have a better reach for her without having to grab onto her. I don't want her to have any negative experiences, and again, trying to get her comfortable with handling, especially within recall, so I don't want her fearful about me reaching for her as she thinks she's going to be grabbed in a way that's a little bit too sudden. So whenever we are calling out recall, just like any cue, we want to make sure we can say it clearly and that we're able to project. So making sure that we're able to say, Noodles, here, very clearly, so she trots along. Yes. Needs a little bit more information still, that's okay. And as we get our treat ready, reaching down underneath first, checking out her little collar, her harness, and then giving her the rest of the treat that she's been licking and nibbling on. We've been practicing this all over. Let's see if she can stay there. I guess so, she's a little tired. Noodles, here! Encouragement along the way is pretty helpful still. Even though you can't repeat, don't think you can't say, you got it, girl. You know, anything that you can think of. Come on, puppy. Something that's going to get them excited to want to follow us. Because honestly, they're not going to care about coming to you if they feel like it's a daunting task. If you repeated yourself, they might just be a little bit afraid that you might get upset with them because they hadn't done it right away. And I want to make sure that they're really excited about coming all the way to us. So ideally too, when they make it to us, it's a party. Good time gal right here. The best and only doggy in the world. So that way she gets more comfortable with choosing to do it, not bolting away from us, where she's having more consistent moments where she's able to engage and disengage, just as well as any other dog you'd hope to have. But she's doing really well. She's pretty tired already. You can tell she's trying to choose to settle on the most comfortable surface that's presented to her right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and end what I'm doing right here with a nice settle practice. We're working on recall. We're outside. She's building up her arousal and energy level. So what's gonna be helpful too is providing her intermittent chances to calm down, right? We wanna reinforce these more still moments as much as possible. So having more valleys along with those spikes in energy, so she can learn how to do that on her own. She runs, she has fun, romps around, but she's more primed to disengage, especially when she's feeling tired, rather than whatever impulses that happen to be driving her with the stimuli that's around her. We're in a pretty still space right now, but that's okay. We're gonna be doing more along the way, but she did really well, so we should be proud.